So today we will do few things on Cloudera side. Okay, so our Cloudera cluster is up and running, and what we need to do is basically we need to sync this Cloudera manager through Active Directory. Okay, so we have this 3-node cluster of Cloudera and our Active Directory also running, and I have included the private IP of this Active Directory in all of these hosts. Okay, so let's first check that. So sudo vi/etc/hosts. So our Active Directory IP address is here, right? And we should be able to ping it. And yes, it is pinging. Now what we need to do is we have created the Active Directory users for Cloudera that we will sync into Cloudera manager. So let me first connect to Active Directory and we will see what we have there. Now if you open the roles for users and groups, so in CDH user, so over here we will have CDH user 1, CDH user 2, then we have groups also, CDH devs. So in that development environment we have, in that CDH dev group we have 2 users, both are the developers, CDH user 1 and 2, and CDH admin we do have 2 users, 3 users, CDH admin 1, admin 2, and CDH super admin. So this CDH super admin is the super user of this organizational unit. So he is having all the authority of creating. So today what we are going to do, first we will sync this guys into our Cloudera manager. Okay, so that using this user or this user also you can log into Cloudera manager. Okay, and we can assign them the roles depending on what they are. So basically there are multiple ways to assign the roles in that. Okay, if you want him to be just like a user of who do not have much authority of starting and restarting the things, okay, we can give some admin roles to these admin guys kind of thing. And then we will use this organizational unit also in order to Kubernetes our Cloudera cluster. Okay, so we will see these 2 activities now. So I'm here, all our services are up and running. Most of them are like already already HA is done on those. Okay, so we do have name node HA, we do have resource manager HA, we do have Hive server 2 HA. Okay, so what we need to do is basically in administrator we need to go to settings, not here. Okay, so we need to go to administrator and then on settings, and here you need to put the thing. So here you need to select the authentication. Okay, so external authentication. If you click on this, it will open up the things for you to feed in. So basically so we need to do the external authentication with the Active Directory. So currently we do not have any setup for that. And authentication backorder, it should be like external then database. Okay, so you need to select this. So basically whenever the authentication needs to be done for a particular user who is logging on to the Cloudera manager, he will be first checked to the external, and if he is not found there, then it will be checked into the database. Okay, so this is mandatory. We need to change this. This is okay. And external authentication type would be Active Directory. So here we need to provide. So here you will find the help. So if you just click on this question mark, it will provide you that what all the values you will need to feed in. So basically this is LDAP URL. So here we will require the URL of our Active Directory. Okay, so I have already copied and pasted here in this document. Now the thing is, this is our LDAP URL. So mimant-ad.cluster.com is the URL for our Active Directory, and its port is 389. So it is like open LDAP. I mean, it is not an SSL port. SSL port is 636. So 389 is the port that we can utilize, and Cloudera Manager is okay to use the unsecured way of connecting, but it will also support the secured way, like that is the port 636. But for that, what we need to do is, again, we need to bring the group certificate, okay, and then import it in, or we need to provide the path of that certificate to the Cloudera Manager. So at the time of connecting to the Active Directory, it should do some SSL, while connecting through SSL, it can have that certificate to be verified. Okay, so both the things can be done. So we will use this open port. So I am copying and pasting it here. So this should be our LDAP URL. Okay, then we need to think on LDAP bind user distinguished name. So this is a user who is having all the authority, okay, all the authority to connect to the organization unit and fetch all the user details and group details. Okay, so he is that user. CDH super admin, organization unit CDH users, and dccluster.com. Okay, now just verify we do have the same thing over here. So we do have CDH super admin, who is the super user of this organization unit CDH users. Okay, so we are putting the same thing. CDH super admin, CDH user is the organization unit, dccluster dc.com. So this is domain controller. Now LDAP bind password, that whatever we set for that super admin. So this is that one. Now Active Directory domain, do we have that information available? Active Directory domain, yes. So cluster.com. So basically this is kind of a realm name, and in most of the cases basically it should be uppercase. Okay, so whenever you talk about realm name or domain directory name, basically it should be on uppercase. Now you can have the search filter, like which are all the users starting from A or B or AB, whatever. Okay, so you can have search filter over here, and only those users that pass those search filter will be imported into the Cloudera Manager. So LDAP user groups. So basically these are two groups we do have. So we can just specify in the LDAP user groups. LDAP user groups, LDAP group search base. Okay. So here we can put them. The search filter for finding groups, typically this will be a member ID where we will be, okay, no, not this one. LDAP user groups. Over here we need to just provide this one. So a list of LDAP group names. If a user is not a member of one of the configured groups, that user is prevented from logging into the Cloudera Manager. So basically you can just put this one in a comma separated fashion. So CDH users, so basically just verify if these users are there. So one is CDH admins, right? CDH admins, we do have CDH admins, and another one is CDH devs. So I will just change this CDH devs. Okay, so these groups will be imported, and all the users from these groups will be automatically imported into Cloudera Manager, and basically those users will be authenticated from the Active Directory, and they can log into the Cloudera Manager separately. Okay, Then we need to provide the group search base, so dccluster.com, this is sufficient. We can also prefix it with the organizational unit if you want. Okay, so it should be in LDEP group search base, LDEP group search base. Okay, and LDEP distinguished name pattern, I think this is all okay. I mean, now if you see here, there are LDEP full administrator group, so basically you can assign the group name over here. Okay, so just like, let's say I want this CDH admin guys to be the full administrator group, so I can just add that group over here. Okay, and so all the users under that group will be granted all the full administrator privileges. Currently only admin is having those privileges, right? So this is sufficient. Basically whoever the users under these groups will be imported into Cloudera Manager, and we can then we need to restart Cloudera Manager once we do these changes. Okay, so these are sufficient. So what changes we had done? First we had made this external, then database. So authentication will be happening first external, that is an external authentication type is Active Directory. So it will, whoever will be the user who is trying to log in into the Cloudera Manager will be authenticated against the Active Directory. So his user details will be checked on Active Directory, and if the password and everything matches, basically he will be granted access within the, on Cloudera Manager. And whatever rules that admin will assign him, he will start with its with that kind of roles, either a developer role or just like read kind of permission, or maybe he will restart some of the jobs, or maybe he would be a kind of full administrator on the Cloudera Manager, so that he can again manage the other services from the Cloudera Manager. Okay, so once you do that, you just need to save the changes. And so here, sorry, so these are save the changes. It is being saved now. Now we just need to restart our Cloudera Manager. So what I will do is I will just run an Ansible playbook that will restart all the Cloudera Manager and agents. So it is restarting all the Cloudera agents, and on the master it is restarting Cloudera agent as well as Cloudera Manager. Okay, so it will take some time to come up. So if you just refresh this, so currently it will take some 10-15 seconds. Okay, so our Cloudera Manager is up and running. Now we can, let me first try only admin if it is not stuck somewhere. So admin. Okay, so admin is okay, so it does not harm anything, whatever settings we have done. So just log out and try to log in with the user from somewhere, so like CDH user one, right? So CDH user one, so this, and his password you already know is gravity one. So now he got authenticated. It got authenticated from the Active Directory, and we are now logged in with the CDH user one, right? But what kind of rules he is having? So basically he is just read only. Okay, he cannot do anything. So we just client configuration. There is no restart facilities for him and everything. So basically, if you do not provide any rules to any of the users who have just like log into your Cloudera Manager, they just have the normal authority of read only. Now, how to give some kind of authority to him? Okay, So to give some authority, let's log out from here and log in with admin, because admin is a full administrator and he can assign rules and other things. Just like in hot and Sambar, also we have the facility to assign what kind of roles will be assigned to a particular user. Maybe he is a kind of full administrator, or he's just like a kind of cluster user who cannot restart the services, but he can just check the status, okay, or configuration, but nothing else. So since admin is a full administrator, we get all the options over here in order to do the things. Now if you go to administrator and go to users, so these guys like CDH user has just logged in, so we have got him over here, right? You can do also add user, but add user will, okay, it's local user, not the other one. Now what about so this is the only user who is there. User sessions, maybe admin. Currently we are with this. Now there is no option to get the groups and all the users simultaneously. Okay, so since when the user gets logged in, then only this entry will be created, right? So I can click on it. Okay, so since he has logged in once, so he is appearing here, and his type is external user. Okay, he is not within the system. He is not on the Linux local or anything. He is actually being picked from the Active Directory. And assign users roles. Okay, so you can either delete him from here, but then deleting from here does not mean it is going to be deleted from Active Directory. Okay, it is just like deleted from this particular local cache. So I'm going to assign user roles and select one. So these are available roles that you can assign to the CDH user one. So I can give him full administrator. I can, so multiple roles, I mean, depending on, so read only is the default one. Then auditor is just to do the audit. Navigator, administrator, limited operator. So you just need to check that what are all the things, because ultimately when you do select any one of them, some kind of privileges will be given to that user. Apart from read only, so read only there is no privileges at all. He can just look into the cluster, that's it. So I can make him full administrator just to check if he will be, so let me assign the role to him. So now he is the same role as admin, full administrator. Now if I log out from here and use CDH user 1 with this password, so assigning roles does not require any restart and all. And now if you click on here, you will get all the administrators. So you are with the CDH user 1 full administrator. Are you getting me? So if some team members join your project, and being an admin you want to assign some roles to him, or roles to them basically, so you can just pick any one of the existing roles and grant them the suitable role, so that at least they should not be able to restart that machine also. Currently I have given the full administrator role that should not be assigned to him. So let me log on and try to assign some different role. Okay, so go to administrator, go to users, select him, and from full administrator role to, you can change it to, so read only is the best one for everyone. I mean, who you don't want to do any changes to the cluster. Okay, so let it be read only. Okay, we don't want to give more to him. Okay, so you just, as soon as you just do the changes over here, it will be effective. Okay, because he can also open, he can also connect from the other browser, okay, or from other laptop and all. He can, so as soon as you just save this, basically it will be effective from that time. Now this is how you will sync all the users from the Active Directory into your Cloudera manager. Okay, all the authentication will be done externally through the Active Directory. You do not have those users and everything locally available on your machine. So this is best practice. Okay, either you can have some open lab set up somewhere on some server, so you can so what we have seen is Active Directory, the best approach to do the things. administrator settings. So if I go on some other authentication mechanism, external authentication, so we do have Active Directory, LDAP, and external programs. So LDAP is also one of them. So ultimately Active Directory engulfs LDAP and Kerberos within. So if you do not want to Kerberos your cluster, just want to have authentication through LDAP, you can also do that. So it is also having the similar kind of setup. Okay, but we are actually seeing the top thing that is mostly done in production environment to sync everything through the Active Directory. Okay, so